Rams fans, welcome in on this edition of Rams Showcase. The Rams are making roster moves. What does this tell us? Plus, playoff picture is taking shape and the Rams have some work to do. And later, back to the SoFi action. We preview Bills at Rams. Let's rock.
This is Rams Showcase with your host, Sheriff Joe Bags.
Yes, welcome into it, Rams Showcase. I am Sheriff Joe Bags. Happy Week 14. I can't believe we're already Week 14, dude. We're already flying through the season. It's gonna hurt my feelings a little bit, man. We're going way too fast. Before you know it, it's like Week 2, and we're like, it's a long season, man. It's a long season, lots of games to go. And then it's Week 14, you're like, it's almost over. All right, hold on. So that's where I'm at mentally and emotionally. Hopefully you're doing, hopefully you're just soaking it in. That's the goal of kind of my season intake is just kind of take it for what it is, dude. We're not going to win the Super Bowl every year. That's okay. That's not going to make me pick a new team. I'm not going to just go, bounce around and see who's just the sickest team ever and then just follow them or anything like that. I'm here for all of it, man. We could not win any games. I'm still going to be here doing Rams Showcase episodes. At Rams Showcase, at Sheriff Joe Bags. That's where you follow along on social media. And ramshowcase.com as well. Heads up as well, before we dive, fully into this stuff, is if you're going to the game this weekend at SoFi, Bills versus Rams, dude, hit me up, man. Let's do some stuff. We'll be out at the tailgate rather early. Me and my dude Aaron going out, man. It's going to be an absolute blast. I'm fired up to be back at SoFi. I get 2 SoFi games this year, which is rather exciting. Got to check out the Packers earlier in the year. So hopefully my attendance does not go 0-2. All right. So that's what we're hoping on. Bills, though, very, very good team. We'll get into that game preview on the back end here. Also, tons of fan quesos, which did lead me to lighten up the first portion here because we've got a good chunk of those. Also, before we dive in, we're on record watch, okay? I will let you know during the game preview what Los Angeles Rams record my dude Christian Roseboom is after right now, so stay tuned for that. Like I said, we are going a little bit light on the first portion here, so I'm going to start with some transactions. These are moves that the Rams are making former Rams making some moves around the NFL as well. So let's go ahead and dive on in. The big one that we've all been tracking all week long is the Rams did claim cornerback Emmanuel Forbes off of waivers from the Washington Commanders. We did get an announcement that he will wear number 36, and then today he was wearing number 25 in practice. So unsure what that means, what number he's going to be rocking, but he's got a little bit of time to figure it out, as Sean McVay also did let it be known that it doesn't sound like he'll be taking the field this weekend against the Bills. We'll be sticking with our normal crew, your Durants, your Akello, D. Will, those guys will be holding it down this go-round. But, of course, we will be looking for Emmanuel Forbes to enter the fold, and I'm kind of thinking, he's only going to have 4 games with the Rams this year. You know what I mean? That's pretty snug to try to figure out who this guy is, what he's all about, but I also think that the more I look into Emmanuel Forbes, the more I'm like, that might have just been a bad fit in Washington. I think he actually kind of fits in pretty well here. So I'm fired up about it, man. Forbes, like I said, the more I kind of learn about him, the more I get excited about this. But also, Washington, they're a playoff team, and they waived him. So I don't know what their whole reasoning was. Maybe it was something of like, hey, man, go find a new team. Go get some more PT out here, dude, And so maybe that's the case. But again, I don't have that information. But Emmanuel Forbes, when he does take the field, all I'll say is that, hey, kind of maybe keep your eyes on this guy. He might actually be one of those Rams additions that we kind of bring in and it's like, yo, how did they let this guy go? He's awesome. It's feeling like that could possibly be the situation here for Mr. Forbes. So rather exciting stuff. Something to that we will be watching as it kind of takes place in the Rams world here. In a corresponding move, the Rams did waive cornerback Charles Woods. He has since been signed to the practice squad. Also joining Charles Woods on the practice squad, defensive tackle Jack Heflin. And nose tackle, Kevin Strong. So the Rams are making some defensive line additions as far as practice squad goes. I'm not sure whether that means there's going to be any changes on the active roster, or maybe we're just trying to get a look at some other guys, try to get some shuffling in there. Maybe we are trying to get guys in for some more reps for offensive line. I don't know, okay? But the Rams bringing in 2 interior defensive linemen does, I think, tell us a little bit of something, that they are trying to get a little bit of a peek into that position grouping. Although you got to think Tyler Davis, Bobby Brown, Kobe Turner, Braden Fisk, you got to think that those guys are safe, right? So unsure what exactly the motivation here is, but I do think that bringing Forbes in is a move that kind of looks inwards, a little peek in the mirror on the Rams secondary, which I think is very good, very talented. We'll talk about the defense in the game preview, but ultimately my assessment of the defense right now is extremely talented, but extremely young, making a lot of mistakes. But when they make big plays, the plays are insane, and so I think we just got to be a little bit patient with the Rams secondary specifically, and let these guys develop and continue to figure out their places in the NFL. Because I mean, Cam Kinchins, like, he's awesome, but 3rd round pick. You know what I mean? Jalen McCullough, best safety in the league, undrafted rookie this year. And then you also get the young guys. It's not like Durant is like the seasoned vet. I know that he kind of is now, but and then obviously like Akello and stuff like that, and D. Will. Those guys do have experience, but I think ultimately we are very young on defense. Very good, but very young, and those mistakes are definitely showing. Some former Rams making some splashes around the NFL. Former Rams running back John Kelly, he signs with the Chargers practice squad. Former Rams quarterback John Wolford, the Wolf. Been a long time since I've been able to pull that one out. He's signing with the Jaguars practice squad. Very realistic that he could get pulled up on that with Trevor Lawrence going to IR with that concussion. Former Rams long snapper. We got long snapper news. Yeah, we're talking about week 14. Here we go. Jake McQuaid, he's been waived by the Vikings. It's like negative former long snapper news. Former Rams wide receiver Josh Reynolds, Gig 'em Josh, waived by the Denver Broncos. He did also post a thank you to Denver, so it doesn't sound like he's going to loop back around and join a practice squad. So Josh Reynolds up for grabs there. I fully anticipate that he gets picked up somewhere. Not sure where. Former Rams defensive tackle Corey Durden signing with the Giants active roster, so he'll now be playing football on Sundays, which is rather exciting. And in the worst news of them all, Lions signing defensive end Jonah Williams off of the Rams practice squad. I've been a big Jonah Williams fan for the last few years, and now he's going to go spend some time in Detroit. So that's a good move for him. Obviously, I'm like, oh man, but like that's a good move for him. He was up and down on our practice squad. I think he should have been a regular on the active roster. That's just me. But he gets to go out there, play in Detroit. Good, front seven included in that. Obviously a good coach and Dan Campbell. Just a good football team right now. So Jonah Williams going to hopefully contribute to the Detroit Lions and whatever their season ends up bringing in. But the Rams in a bit of a choice situation here as well when it comes to bringing back guys on IR. Got one more opportunity to do so. And a few more guys we may want back. 2 of those names come to mind. John Johnson III, JJ, and also Troy Reeder. And again, I am not here to trash anybody, Rams or opponent. I'm not here to talk trash on anybody. But if we are picking between Troy Reeder and John Johnson to come back from IR, I feel like that choice is extremely easy. I don't think that John Johnson's addition back into the defense is that critical, I would say, considering Jalen McCullough, Cam Kinchins, Quentin Lake, Captain Q, all doing a good job. So, but I think it's important to remember that when John Johnson, before he got hurt, he was playing like one of the best safeties in the league. So getting him back into our defense helps us. Bringing back Troy Reeder into the defense puts us back to where we were early in the season, where we had a pair of guys that we didn't really trust too much to make big plays when we needed them, and that was Christian Roseboom with Troy Reeder. Ever since Omar Speights has entered the lineup next to Roseboom, though, the Roseboom production has skyrocketed, and dude is actually playing incredible football right now. Again, we'll get into that in the game preview, but this is a Christian Roseboom positive podcast, all right? And has been the whole season. Go back and watch the episodes, okay? I'm the only one. I'm the only one that supported this dude because I saw this potential the whole time and was like, man, if he can just do what I think he is capable of doing, he's a damn good football player. And it's happening. And I'm not going to sit here and be like, I told you so and all that stuff. And I know that's kind of what it's coming off like right now. But ultimately, man, it's like, I just want people to, I just want the Rams to do well. I want all these guys to do well. And when I see a guy that I feel like has potential and I get excited about them and I see just the fan base just absolutely ripping them and just like, I don't know, it kind of drives me crazy. I don't like we'll say this, all right? We're going to go a quick sidebar here about being like a realistic fan. I see that all the time. I'm just being realistic. We suck. It's like, no, you're being a jerk, all right? What's being realistic is saying something along the lines of the Bills. The Bills are a good football team. They'll probably beat us this weekend. That's completely realistic. But you know what else is realistic? That the Rams win this game, any given Sunday, dude. And also, the Rams could win out. That is realistic. That is something that can happen. That is realistic. I had a better example in my head, and I really wish I would have wrote it down. If I think of it, I'm firing it off in any moment. So just be prepared for that. But, oh yeah, that was my example. I just got it. So I think being a jerk is like being like, oh, we suck, we're terrible, season's over, it's not fun anymore, whatever, bleh, we're lame, it's over, we're dead. What's, I think, realistic to say is that game against the Philadelphia Eagles, that was Saquon Barkley's game, and we just happened to be the opponent. That's realistic to say. That is reasonable. Philadelphia Eagles single game rushing yard record for Saquon in that game. Obviously a big performance by Philly that day in just untimely mistakes by the Rams. We went into that pretty hefty on this episode or on this show last week. So I think it's realistic to say like, yeah, that was just a good day by Philly. Rams made some untimely mistakes. That was Saquon Barkley's day. We just happened to be the opponent for it. What I don't think is realistic when I think is just being a jerk is just being like, oh, we're dead. We suck. Fire McVay. We suck. It's like, first of all, that's the best coach we've ever had, dude. I don't know. And you know what? Be the fan you want to be, man. That's totally fine. If you want to be a negative fan and be like, be that. That's fine. But Ram Showcase, we try to stay a little positive here. We just try to be hyped up, dude. Because what's the point of going into this game this weekend and being like, well, it's not going to work anyway, so why even watch? You know what I mean? I'm getting hyped up, and I can see a way that the Rams can win this game. Absolutely. Again, though, we'll get into that game preview time. Now let's talk about the playoffs. Playoffs? Yeah, we're talking about it because it is very realistic that the Rams could be playing in postseason action and also playing at home. Let's take a look at the wild card race first at Minnesota Vikings sitting in your top wild card slot right now at 10-2. This week they play Atlanta. Green Bay sits at 9-3 in the wild card spot. They are at Detroit, which leads that division of Minnesota and Green Bay. And they'll play in Detroit on Thursday Night Football. So possibly by the time you see this, you already know if the Green Bay Packers are 10-3 or 9-4. Washington Commanders this week on a bye week, so they'll just be hanging out. They are 8-5, and that also becoming a little bit more realistic, I would say, that the Rams could get into the wild card in this setting, with Washington kind of having not necessarily, I don't want to say struggles. They did have a few games where they didn't look as powerful for sure. But I think that like calling them check down Charlie Daniels and stuff like that, I think is a little extreme. Dude's been playing a great season. Throws the ball to the open guy, whether that's 5 yards down the field or 50. I mean, who cares? Just get the ball to the open guy. If he happens to be short, then he's short. Whatever, throw it to him. Let your playmakers make some plays, man. Because I think the reason that I hate it is that it's the same people that are like that get mad when you only throw deep balls and you're like, get the ball into your playmaker's hands. And then when they do that, they're like, all he does is checkdowns. He's not even a good quarterback. And it's like, well, you got to choose one of those. You got to make up. There's middle ground there, man. There's middle ground. But Washington on a bye week. We'll see, man, because obviously last week they kind of they kind of went off, and so definitely pushed down the hopes of wild card. But we don't even want wild card, man. I'm telling you. Sitting on the outside right now, by the way, is Tampa Bay and Arizona, as well as the Rams, all 6-6. So right in there. Tampa Bay will host the Vegas Raiders, Arizona hosting Seattle, and the LA Rams hosting the Buffalo Bills. So all those teams will be at home. And that'll be a rather interesting race to kind of watch unfold. I'm not sure if wild card is really where attention should be, considering the divisional race. And the Niners are also right behind the Rams in the wild card slot as well. So we got Seattle obviously leading the division, and then on the outside of the playoffs, Tampa Bay, and then Arizona, LA, Seattle, or San Fran, all right there, like all in a pocket. So this division's still very much up for grabs. Dallas also 5-7. They'll play Cincinnati on Monday Night Football. So we'll see, I guess. And San Fran against Chicago this week. In your NFC West, this is the race that I am fully paying more attention to when it comes to playoff action. Seattle Seahawks first place 7-5, Arizona and LA 6-6, and the 49ers sitting at 5-7. Also just did put Christian McCaffrey on IR. Looks like his season is over. Not going to be one of those. I think, did he go on IR earlier this year? Because if he did, then he can't come back. I don't think you can do it twice in 1 year. If that was an IR situation, which I believe it was. So yeah, his season is done for sure. Whatever his injury was, I don't know exactly what happened. It didn't look good. It was non-contact. So, immediately when he fell down, it was like, oh, he's done. Like, he's done for the year. And he also put out a statement, in the way that it looked, I thought it was a retirement announcement. I was scrolling, and I was like, yo, what? And then I read it, and it was like, he's just like, yeah, I'll be back or whatever. Like, he didn't really say it, though. He never said anything. That's the crazy part. He just got like, I love football, I love the Niners. Nobody better clip that, I swear to God. All right, let's see. So the Rams do still play each one of these division opponents, by the way. The only one that's on the road is in San Fran. That's going to be the game after the Buffalo Bills. So we got that game preview next week. Look for that on Tuesday, by the way. I'll be off work on Tuesday. I'll be back home. So I should be able to knock out that whole entire bad boy on Tuesday before returning to work. And then we get that action on Thursday Night Football, which is going to be exciting. But then, of course, hosting Seattle, Arizona for the last 2 games of the season. Those are must wins. The Rams at this time, as I'm talking to you right now, at 6-6 and in third place of the NFC West with 5 football games to play, the Rams control their own destiny. And that's rather exciting stuff. You win out, you win the division. Simply put, you win out, you win the division. And there is a way for the Rams to continue to control their own destiny. It's like this week we played the Bills. That's an AFC team. If the Rams lose this game, the timing of it is rather unfortunate. And obviously you don't want to lose a game. Your overall record is what's looked at first. But an AFC loss does not hit you as hard as, like, say, the loss to the Packers earlier this year, or the loss to Arizona earlier this year, stuff like that. Those ones really hurt you a lot more. So the Rams do control their own destiny. And in a setting where, say, the Rams lose this game, and then Seattle beats Arizona, so then they would each be 7-6. Then the Rams would be 6-7 right behind them. Again, still right behind them with the game to play against each of them, so it still can work out with a loss against the Buffalo Bills. But, let's just not do that then, right? That's the thing. Let's just not do that. I think that's the way to do it. But I think ultimately what I'm just kind of keeping my eyes on is the fact that this division race is absolutely insane right now, and I think I'm just going to go ahead and lock in on that. Not necessarily the wild card, not that I'm like anti-wild card, but I'd rather have a home game anyway, so why do we even care about that? We're also closer to first place in our division than we are to taking a wild card slot. Attention shift. Boom! We're going to do our game preview here briefly, Bills at Rams. But first, time to hear about our sponsor of today, Underdog Fantasy. UnderdogFantasy.com. It is the place to play if you're a sports fan looking to win money while watching sports. That's the best part about it, man. Over 5 million happy players and $2 billion won. You think that Matthew Stafford's going to have higher than 1.5 touchdown passes, or Kyron Williams is going to run for lower than 67.5 rushing yards? Dude, lock it in. Make some money watching the Rams beat the butt cheeks off the Buffalo Bills this weekend. It's going to be awesome, man. I'm telling you. Also got that vulture protection You select a designated running back to score a touchdown in your pick'em entry, and they get vultured. They'll rescue your pick, which is rather exciting. Underdog is available in 33 states, including California. LA Rams fans, Texas, and Georgia are also included. My favorite part of using the Underdog Fantasy app is just its simple usage. I hate learning new apps. I hate getting into new stuff. I'm very content with the life and the technology that I've been able to use. All right, I'm good with it. But Underdog Fantasy, that one being introduced, extremely easy to use. I go onto that search, I type in LOS, enter, pick the Rams game because it's right there, and then start firing off my picks. So hop on in as well. Again, my favorite part is that ease because you get into the stuff, it kicks you out, you got to log back in and all that mess, and then I just get frustrated and I just never get back in. So the ease of the app is one of my favorite things. Check it out just for yourself. Just be like, this is... Sheriff Joe Bags is not a liar. Check it on out. Download the app today. Use promo code SHOWCASE. Get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly. That is promo code SHOWCASE for $1,000 in bonus cash instantly. Higher or lower, you make the call on Underdog. Must be 18 or over, 19 over in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 over in Colorado for some games. 21 and over in Massachusetts and Arizona, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Void in Colorado. Concerns with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In Arizona, it's 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342. In New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. Bills at Rams, full game preview. That is in your life next, right here on Rams Showcase. Welcome back in. This is Rams Showcase. My name is Sheriff Joe Bags. The Los Angeles Rams head into Week 14 with a 6-6 record, hosting the Buffalo Bills, who have a 10-2 record coming into SoFi Stadium. Kickoff is at 1:25 p.m. on Fox. Kevin Burkhardt, Tom Brady, Aaron Andrews, Tom Rinaldi on the call. That does mean this is America's game of the week. The Rams and the Bills representing the red zones for this one, so quite a large area for viewing. If you are sticking at home watching on some bunny ears or some action like that, I realize there's plenty of ways to watch the Rams games, but if you're one of those, then the red zones, hey, we got your back. Just flip on channel. It's 21 where I live. I don't know what it is for you. Whatever Fox is in your local area. Local listings for more information. You radio listeners, we do appreciate you. Sports USA, that'll be Larry Kahn and Ron Rivera. For those of you going to the game, such as myself, I have 65 in Inglewood on Sunday, 0% chance of precip and light winds. Should be about 60 near the end of the game, so nothing too crazy. Although last time I was in LA in December, it was like 65, 70, something like that. And I saw a bunch of people wearing jackets. I'll be honest, that was hilarious to me. But I am also from Colorado, and I will die above 80 degrees. So it works both ways, all right? But either way, going to be a nice one out in Inglewood, California, when the Bills come to town. Not going to be like the game in Buffalo this last week when the 49ers were met with a massive snowstorm out there in upper New York. For you bettors, minus 4.5 for the Rams. That should be plus 4.5, I'm guessing here. And plus 188 on the money line, 49.5 on your over-under. The Rams will be rocking the royal jersey for this one, and the pants picks. We're creeping up on the end here. We had GP Shadow hop in last time. We do appreciate that, dude. So anybody else who wants to participate in the pants picks, we usually get them on Thursday now. Rams, please make it 24 hours again. That was way more fun. But the Rams in the royal jersey for this one. Payo time, going royal on royal with a 5-7 record, trying to catch Rams House, who's going with Soul at 7-5. And you got Sheriff Joe Bags here, back in coming in through the rear, man. 4-8, not looking good. Need to win out to be above 500. But I'm going bone, man. So we'll see how it goes. Only one of us can be right this week. Payo time, locking in the royal on royal. We have not seen outside of one bone game where the Rams wore the same color jersey and pants, which I like to think means that the Rams listen to my podcast, which I'm probably not, but that's pretty cool to think about. I'm just going to tell myself that anyway. I'm like, well, when Sean McVay was listening. Probably not, but it's okay. All right. So drop your pants picks below, and we'll see if I can get above 500. I'm not even chasing them anymore. All right. I'm not chasing them because you can't even play defense on pants picks. It's like bowling. You can't play defense. You can just watch them do what they do. You know what I mean? So I'm just going for 500. But just know that if the Rams are not in bone pants this week, I can't be. And then I don't know what I'm going for. I was just playing for pride at that point, I guess. But let's take a look at this game, man. The Bills, they're on a tear right now, man. They're on a tear. Let's be realistic here. Let's be real, okay? I'm going to break down this entire game preview. I'm going to talk about the Bills and the Rams, okay? I understand the situation. I don't want anybody to think that I'm naive enough to think that the Rams are, like, just going to go toe-to-toe with Buffalo, no issues. You know what I mean? I understand the situation, all right? Some situational awareness. I've got some clarity around me, all right? I realize that. But I also am a fan that can always see a way that the Rams can win a football game. I did this every game in 2009. I don't see why I can't do it here. You know what I mean? I am an optimistic Rams fan. I like to hold on to that. But don't get me wrong. And as I go on with this, I think that's what I'm trying to say here is as I go on with my game preview, I know I'm going to be talking a lot of stuff about how the Rams can win. If this happens, then the Rams can have a chance, stuff like that. I realize the situation, okay? I realize the Buffalo Bills are a great football team. And I'll go as far as to say probably going to win this game, all right? But not guaranteed, man. Any given Sunday, man. All right? So as we go on, I just wanted to put that out there. Get my clarity in there that you kind of know where I'm coming from. The optimism of a Rams fan is something that can only be matched by Jets fans, I think. Well, Paul specifically, Boy Green, not the others, just Boy Green. But just keep that in your mind as we move forward. I get that the Bills are probably really good, okay? But as the Rams fan, we're going to just say that the Rams could win this game, all right? Because it's possible, all right? Bills are on a tear right now. They've won their last 6 football games. The Bills' lowest point output in that 6-game stretch was 23 points, and that was a division game against the New York Jets. 30-plus in all others in that stretch. The Rams, on the other side, have won 5 of their last 7, although one of those in that of the losses, Miami at home on Monday Night Football. That obviously was not that sick of a game. No touchdowns scored for the Rams, so not great there. And also, like I said, the Bills putting up 30 points plus 30 points in a lot of this stretch here. And that Jets one, that was the first of the stretch. So in the last 5, the Bills have put up at least 30, and that does include last week in the snowstorm. So keep that in your mind. History of this matchup, this is the 15th all-time meeting between the Rams and the Bills. The Bills lead the all-time series 9-5. The Bills have won the last 3 against the Rams. Bills have also scored at least 30 in each of those 30. Keep that number in your head. And Josh Allen has not lost to the Los Angeles Rams. The last time the Rams won, that was December 9th of 2012. That was St. Louis at Buffalo, 15-12 win by the Rams. And I just thought this was a fun one. I remember very vividly. I can still picture. I could run it through my head. Check this out. Just did it, dude. That Austin Pettis catch on 4th down from Sam Bradford where the ball was behind him and he was like, and then gets the first down and then scores the touchdown, dude. That was so exciting, man. Austin Pettis was on fire that day. And also I thought it was rather cool that Ryan Fitzpatrick was on the Bills side on that one. We did get a video circulating on social media this last week or so of that Ryan Fitzpatrick Rams game versus the Texans. So sick. That was so much fun to watch, man. So I've been watching those replays kind of a lot just because I keep scrolling by them. But this was when we were going against Ryan Fitzpatrick. But just, some genesis there of the Ryan Fitzpatrick started with the Rams in Houston. Jamie Martin got hurt because Bolger was already out. Ugh, we've come a long way, guys. I don't know how anybody is like, we suck. No, they suck. We sucked bad back then, and we're cool now. I swear. Last time these two teams met, this was in 2022, opening week on Thursday Night Football. That was a 31-10 win for the Buffalo Bills and kind of set that whole season off on the worst possible foot. Ended up winning only 4 games that year for the LA Rams. First time these two ever met, September 27th, 1970. That was a 19-0 win by the LA Rams. Bills are 2-0 at SoFi all time, one versus each of the Rams and the Chargers. That Rams one, of course, come in 2022, the season kickoff. Playoffs for both of these teams, by the way, in reach. And, I mean, obviously the Bills are sitting in there right now, but playoff conversations are happening right now in two different settings. The Bills are shooting for the number one seed in the AFC. So I know that that some fans like to think that maybe because the Buffalo Bills clinched their division last week, that the Bills are going to start to take it easy. But, I mean, I disagree because you want the one seed. You want a week off and then to force everybody to come to Buffalo. So I think that that's extremely realistic. Kansas City currently holding the one seed in the AFC, but Buffalo is right there for sure. So just one game back of KC. And KC playing with fire right now, dude. So Kansas City is they're creeping by games right now. I mean, the way that they beat the Raiders was one of those of like, oh man, Raiders, like that's one of those games. But KC is right in there, and I think Buffalo knows that there's going to be it's got to be another game, right? That Kansas City slips up in. That, I mean, that feels so real, right? I mean, they're barely getting out of these games. Aiden O'Connell doesn't let the football hit him in his hip, and maybe the Raiders win that game. So I think that they will be shooting for something here, and we're not just going to get a Bills team that's going to come in and lay down. Definitely not resting any starters. It's only week 14. You wouldn't do that yet. Rams shooting for a division title, something that the Bills accomplished, like I said, last week. And third in the division right now, and the only team with a better record than the Rams is a team that the Rams have already beaten and do get to play again, and that is the Seattle Seahawks in first place. So obviously our two races right now in different situations. Rams holding on to playoff hopes. Can't even get into a slot this week. Well, I guess no. Yeah, that's right. Because if Arizona beat Seattle, then we would jump Seattle, but Arizona would also still be ahead of us. So we can't get into first place in the NFC West this week. So either way, can't do it, but just got to keep those hopes alive, and we still control our own destiny. Hopefully that doesn't change with a loss or two for these last 5 games. Let's take a look at the matchup in this one, though. We have the Rams offense going against the Buffalo Bills defense. The Rams offense is inconsistent right now. 18th in total yards on offense right now, and the Bills are 11th in total defense, sitting just outside the top 10. Passing the ball, 11th for the Rams. Matthew Stafford holding it down there, but a top 8 unit for the Bills defense, giving up under 200 passing yards a game. Running the ball, the Rams have now creeped over 100 yards on average, 26th in the league, and the Bills giving up 121.9, that is 18th. Points being scored a little over 21 for the Rams, that's 20th in the league, and Bills giving up just under 19, that's tied for 6th. Third down conversion rates, 32.6 for the Rams offense, that is 30th, and 40% given up by the Bills defense, that is 20th, so definitely an opportunity there. The Rams offense, simply put, doesn't feel like it's firing on all cylinders. That is just your simple facts right there. It doesn't feel as powerful as we probably feel like it should be. Kyren coming off of a big game, though, that was absolutely needed. After a couple of fumbles, the fan base was kind of giving them some of those side-eyes, man. And obviously a big day. That made me feel a lot better about it. And I was sitting here last week and it was like, yo, Kyren is my guy, but he's got an issue right now. And I think that ultimately we went into the game based on what we saw on the field against the Saints. I think we kind of knew that the team was pretty much telling them like, hey, we're still going to you, man. So stop fumbling because you're getting the ball. All right. Like, this is your chance, dude. Like, you're going for it. And I love to see that. I love that the team didn't lose confidence in him and he had a big day to be able to put that together. So obviously we hope that continues. Hope it leaks into another week of just intensity because can't pull back now. If he has another game, a couple fumbles, then the fan base is going to be loud again. So just got to keep on this current streak that Kyren has going of playing some really good football and hanging on to the football. Bills defense playing really good football right now as well. So tough task for the Rams for sure. They've got a bunch of playmakers on that side. Also just brought back Micah Hyde. He's on the practice squad, though. I'm not sure if he'll get pulled up or not, but they also do have former Rams safety Taylor Rapp. who's playing really good right now. Better than he ever has with the Rams, that is for sure. So lots of moving pieces on this one, but obviously the Bills' defense is super super tough. So yeah, a tall task for the Rams. But if the Rams' offensive line can keep opening up those run lanes and keep a hobbled Stafford that we now know is having some ankle issues, keeping him upright, I think is going to be absolutely massive. So, I mean, obviously, your quarterback staying on his feet is going to be good, but a hobbled Stafford, he could lead to more of a run attack in this game, or that quick pass attack that the Rams did definitely rely on a lot heavier against the Saints, so it should be something that would be easier to implement going into this week. Some of your notes on Rams offense versus the Bills defense, or excuse me, your best matchup for the Rams offense versus the Bills defense. I'm going with, specifically on third down, Rob Havenstein versus Von Miller. I think that is such a sick combination here, such a sick battle to watch unfold. I'm absolutely fired up, man. It's experience versus experience and some familiarity. These guys shared a Super Bowl championship together, man. So it's plenty of practices, plenty of hangouts and stuff like that between the two. So I think this will be a fun one to watch for sure. And with it being Havenstein being easily our most experienced and top-notch offensive lineman. Vaughn is a little bit more limited in Buffalo, but his limited reps, I think, makes all of his reps scarier. Like, that's he doesn't like wear down or like take plays off anymore because he only gets so many reps and he like comes in only in passing situations. Yeah, I think it's gonna be a tough one. Havenstein though, no slouch, and he's got K-Dot on the inside of him there, so I think that's gonna be a fun matchup to watch. And hopefully Vaughn doesn't knock Stafford down on his pockets here, man. So hopefully we just keep him upright. 3 to C offensive side here, starting with Kyren Williams, K-Dub, man. Coming off of a strong day last week, would love to see that continue on, leak into another week, Kyren. Also with Matthew Stafford, kind of banged up, man. That ankle's going to be bothering him. Could be relied on heavily this week. Kyren, I mean. Williams, 74 yards short of 1,000 on the season, by the way, and on his current pace, he should have 1,311 rushing yards by season's end. But 74 yards, we'll see 1K on the year for K-Dub. Next up, Matthew Stafford. With a banged-up ankle, Stafford will likely be asked to get rid of the ball quickly in those passing situations against a solid secondary. His experience and those no-looks really could play off here in the short passing game, which we may need to rely on with a strong pass rush of Buffalo. While there is a lot of pressure on the offensive line to keep Stafford upright, obviously, Stafford's also going to be responsible for knowing where that pressure is coming and where his hot reads are, and get rid of that ball. I think we're going to see a lot of dump-offs to Kyren. I think we're going to see a lot of screens with, the Puka and Cooper screens. I think that we're going to see a lot of, I'm hoping, I kind of miss them, those plays where mainly it was Higbee, would be blocking, and then, like, as that guy gets around him, he just turns around and waits for the ball. And then, like, for some reason, no one's ever paying attention to him. So, I don't know. Stuff like that I think is going to be big in this game. But Matthew Stafford's going to need to know where those hot reads are, because if his ankle explodes, we have Jimmy Garoppolo the rest of the year. And that, I don't know if that's good or bad. I'd rather just have Matthew Stafford, all right? I still think a 10% Matthew Stafford's better than most quarterbacks in the league. He's elite. He is top tier. And I know he gets a little bit loose and a little slingy at times, if I can say that. But I think ultimately he's one of the best in the league. So take with that information what you will. If you want to see Jimmy, that's you, dude. That's fine. But I would rather just not. That's all. The good part about that is we don't make that choice. I don't decide whether Matthew Stafford's ankle holds up this weekend or not. So maybe and if we do see Jimmy, let's go Jimmy, dude. That's for sure. All right. I hope whoever's taking the reps, they kick a bunch of butts. So that's all. And Tutu Atwell, the Tutu train. Chatarius. Last week, the Saints did a great job of limiting Puka and Cooper. We know that D-Rob can be effective when the attention does go to those two, but now Tutu has a chance to really pop in this offense as well if that attention is going to go to 10 and 17. Obviously, you need those other guys, your depth chart to rise and to make those plays. Those Tutu out routes, they're starting to feel automatic, and you know that those are popping up on tape. So there's going to be a team out there who's going to start to try to jump those. And a team like Buffalo might be the one to try to pull that off. So I don't know if it's going to be this week, but I would like to see Tutu kind of hit one of those little step to the sideline and then boom, dude, fire it off. Head to the end zone, man. Go north. Because I do think that's going to pop up on tape, and that's not something that we've done a whole lot of. I know we have hit Tutu deep. I know that one on the right side against San Fran. We had one left too. Who was that? That was earlier this year. But yeah, either way, I think that those Tutu out routes we're setting something up there. That's going to be nice. So take a little boom and then gone, dude. Gone. Tutu gone. I'll absolutely love that, man. So in the advantage here, like I said, look, I am an optimistic Rams fan. I'm a very optimistic Rams fan, and I can always see a way that the Rams can pull off a win, okay? And this game is no different. The Buffalo Bills are not invincible. They are just a very, very good football team. The Rams are not terrible. We're just a football team that's not playing to our potential right now. Is what I'll say. But like I said, I'm also not naive enough to know that like the Bills are a good football team. They're strong. We have not been consistent. They're kind of they're tearing through people right now. The Rams offense is not felt as powerful as we are used to, despite only missing Higbee as a starter now. Only one starter down. We're still having trouble here. And am I being biased when I say that maybe the issue here is that our starters are finally back and they've needed time to kind of gel and get back into a rhythm? Maybe I'm just pulling stuff out of nowhere, dude, but that also feels like a real thing. That also happened to us last year when the Rams were struggling to get it going, and then we got healthy and then got those guys in and then started to explode in December time, which is where we're at right now. So is that being biased? I don't know, man, but if there's a game to light it up, this is the one, man. Game of the week against a stout opponent. This would be it. This would be the one to go off on somebody, man. Advantage here, I'm going to the Buffalo Bills. I think that's reasonable. They have been playing great football on defense. Rapp, like I said, is better today than he ever was with the LA Rams, so good for him. Strong team who plays smart. The advantage goes to the Buffalo Bills, but any given Sunday, dude. Any given Sunday. Let's flip over to the other side here. The Bills offense going against the Rams defense. Top 10 unit for the Buffalo Bills offense. They do slot in at number 10. 25th total defense for your LA Rams. Passing the ball, 16th right in the dead center of the pack there for the Bills offense, and almost dead center for the Rams defense there, 17th against the pass. Running the ball, 11th for the Bills offense. A very strong run team again for the LA Rams, and they're giving up 144. That is 28th in the league. Points being put up, almost 30 for the Buffalo Bills, second in the league, and the Rams giving up over 24. That is 21st. Third down conversion rate, 42.7. Solid on third down for the Buffalo Bills. That's 8th in the league, and the Rams giving up almost 40. That is, 19th in the league. Rams defense is definitely proving that they are both extremely talented and extremely young. That's kind of my theme with this defense right now. They're so talented. Talent up and down, dude. Every single level. This Rams front four, top tier. The fearsome 2024-some, which I absolutely love. Linebackers playing good football right now, dude. Really good football right now. Secondary playmakers everywhere. Inconsistency is the problem on the defensive side, unfortunately. So very talented, extremely talented, but extremely young. This defense is definitely not bad. It is just inexperienced. All right, that's really it. Let these guys kind of develop in a little bit. The best part is, though, like, I was kind of thinking about this. For the next 3 years, 2 years after this, we could have the sickest defense of all time. Like, because you think about it, yeah, one in 2 year players, either rookies or guys in their second year. Turner, Young, Fisk, Verse, McCullough, Kinchins, Spates, Tyler Davis, Josh Wallace. Like, these are really good players, and you give them a few more years to continue developing, and I'm pumped for what these guys could potentially be bringing to a football field in like 2026 or something like that, which, by the way, if you want to come out, I think that's the year that the Rams come back to Denver. So We go big on that one, all right? And usually last time it snowed in 2018. So, yeah, it would be 2026 then. It snowed last time. Rams went 6-0. Todd Gurley absolutely went off. His best single-game performance in his career, just saying. So, yeah, come on out, dude. It's a blast. It's a blast. Make sure, though, that if you're a drinker, that you pace yourself because we are way up in the skies right now. So be careful. But either way, that could be a real sick team, man. Bills offense, though, on the other side, obviously solid. We know they're playmakers. We know that they're a very good team. The run game with Josh Allen and James Cook, another big test for the Rams. Rams defense was not able to hold the Saints to less than their average, but did hold their pass game down enough to win. So maybe we could get something going like that. But the Bills wide receiver combo, Khalil Shakir, Keon Coleman, Mac Hollins, that's going to be a good test for this secondary, especially with Forbes not playing. I don't know what he would be able to contribute this early. Excuse me. He's not, fully ingrained into our defense yet, so I'm not sure what he would be able to bring, but definitely a big test for this Rams secondary because they're just kind of young and stuff like that. So let's take a look at the best matchup: Rams defense versus the Bills offense. I'm going to go with maybe an underrated one, or maybe an unnecessary one. I'm going Darius Williams versus Amari Cooper. Yeah, dude. So, and this is actually just a very specific callback to our Rams Revealed episode. D-Will a few weeks back talking up the respect that he has for Amari Cooper. That really stuck out to me, how he was just like, he's one of the best. He's so great. Like, that was nuts. I was like, Amari Cooper? Like, he's good. Don't get me wrong, but like, I mean, Cooper Kupp? Come on, man. Like, Buka Nakua? What are you doing, D-Will? Am I starting to turn on D-Will because of No, I'm not. But either way, on the Rams Revealed, I think that was rather exciting. So watching those guys go head-to-head, that's obviously going to be really, really fun. 3 to C on the defensive side of the football. I'm going number 1 here, going with my dude, Christian Roseboom. I keep calling him my dude because, again, I think that I've been a Roseboom fan for years, and I don't know. I just like his play style, like the way he flies around. And I was getting kind of frustrated earlier in the year because it was like, dude, you're better than this. What are you doing, man? Like, what are you doing? Like, it was so frustrating. But he's flying around. He's making some great tackles against really, really good players right now. He's flying around. He's reading plays real well. That pop that he had in the first quarter against Jalen Hurts. I mean, Jalen Hurts, that play, he like snaps the ball, he takes a quick step like that, and then starts running. As soon as he started running, Roseboom's firing off at him, dude. So, and then we had that one with Kamara this last week where he gets the TFL on Kamara, solo tackle, and just good plays, man. He's flying around. He's making some great plays, a lot less missed tackles. And ever since Spates entered the lineup, Roseboom has gone off. I don't know what that means. I don't know why. But the Reader and Roseboom combo was not working out. The Spates and Roseboom combo makes Roseboom one of the best linebackers of all time for some reason. And I don't know how to explain it, but I'm not mad about it. Braden Fisk up next. Easy to go with Fisk. Yo, I did the thing. I was trying so hard. I was like, I'm going to mess that up eventually. Fisk or... Whoa. You just watched my brain fall apart and like just turn into scrambled eggs. You ever seen that? Scrambled eggs? That was my brain for a second. Either way, Braden Fisk or Jared Verse, they're easy to pick every single week. I really like Fisk here, though. Fisk is in position to jockey with Verse for Defensive Rookie of the Year, and I'll be honest, one of them should get it, all right? One of them should get it. Quinion Mitchell is not having the kind of season that I think Braden Fisk and Jared Verse are having. I think Cooper DeJean would be more deserving than Quinion Mitchell. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm just being picky here or something like that. Maybe, I don't know. But either way, I think that a twofer, wouldn't it be the most poetic thing of all time for Jared Verse and Braden Fisk to be co-defensive rookie of the years? I don't think they would get mad at all. I think they'd be fired up, dude. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens, of course. But I like Braden Fisk in this matchup. Both are getting better every week. Fisk, though, he feels like he's got a higher trajectory at the moment. He's getting better on a weekly basis than Versus. But in fairness, Verse started here. Fisk started here. So as their trajectory, this one's more flat, this one's higher, but it's still like that. Does that make sense? I feel like that makes sense. And I feel pretty good about that, actually. But Braden Fisk is who I'm going with because of that trajectory. And next up here, Kobe Durant. Durant has been flying around the last few weeks. Feels like Durant is on the verge of a potential pick wave. So hopefully that can begin this week. If there was a game to start it in, this would be a pretty good one, considering the opponent. And Kobe Durant, I saw this stat, by the way, on the 33rd team, is Kobe Durant on third down this season has given up only 2 receptions on 9 attempts for 18 yards and 1 interception for a passer rating of 0.0, which does lead the NFL on third down, which is rather exciting stuff here. The advantage, Rams defense against the Buffalo Bills offense. Rams defense, very, very good, but very, very young, okay? That theme continues. That is, that they did not change from a couple minutes ago, all right? We've seen them make plays. They're absolutely wild, but we've also seen some major mistakes that led to points for the opponent. Not just first downs or anything like that, but full-on points. The Saquon Barkley runs. Looking back at those, multiple guys took wrong angles on that stuff, you know? So those mistakes, it's going to happen with a young team. You just hope you can limit them and that they don't happen again. That's, I think, the ultimate thing. I know that's the case for myself in my life, everyday thing, like at work and stuff like that. It's like you can make mistakes. Make them. Make all the mistakes you need to make, man. But when it comes time, don't make that mistake again, for sure. I mean, and I think that we are seeing that. I think that the Rams defense is doing a good job of that, of limiting doing things multiple times. But Bills have a strong team, up and down, no doubt about it. Bills are second in the league in points being scored, and the Rams defense has shown that in the right situation, they can give up a lot of points. In the right setting, there are going to be a lot of points given up, man. But we've also seen games where this defense is flying around and making huge plays and stopping really powerful offenses. Bills coming off a division-clinching game, and while they are still eyeing the number 1 seed, let's not pretend that with the trip going up to Detroit next week for the Buffalo Bills, coming off a division-clinching win, you go to Detroit next week, maybe this little game in here is getting a little ignored. Maybe. Shouldn't be a walk in the park, though, because Rams, obviously, good football team. Advantage here goes to the Bills, but again, any given Sunday, dude. Any given Sunday. Take a look at connections here. Former Rams who are now on the Buffalo Bills. We have linebacker Von Miller, safety Taylor Rapp, guard David Edwards. That's a name we haven't said in a while. Tight ends coach Rob Boris. He was a OC under Jeff Fisher. QB's coach Ronald Curry. Offensive line coach Aaron Cromer. We've got his son on our side. And pass game specialist and game manager Mark Lubick. Former Bills who are on the Rams. Offensive lineman Connor McDermott, assistant offensive line coach Zach Cromer, coaching against his dad, which is rather exciting stuff. That's really cool. Defensive line coach and run game coordinator Giff Smith, and offensive line coach Ryan Wendell. A lot of offensive line continuity here as far as the coaches go. Pretty cool stuff. And connections in the NFL, Matthew Stafford and Jonah Jackson played in Detroit with punter Sam Martin and running back Ty Johnson. Akella Witherspoon and K-Dot played in Pittsburgh with quarterback Mitchell Trubisky, as well as wide receiver Deion Kane. Cam Curl and Emmanuel Forbes played in Washington with wide receiver Curtis Samuel and defensive end Casey Tuhill. And in college, Cam Kinchins played at Miami with defensive back Corey Couch. Jared Verse and Braden Fisk played at FSU with wide receiver Keon Coleman. A.J. Jackson played at Iowa with A.J. Epinesa. A couple of A.J.'s knocking it down in Iowa. And Nick Hampton played at App State with Jalen Virgil, the wide receiver. Rather cool stuff there. Take a look at some milestones before we get into our fan quesos here. Sean McVay, he did reach the most regular season wins by a head coach in Rams franchise history, passing the late, great John Robinson. Rest in peace. Matthew Stafford, he has officially reached second in Rams history in games with multiple touchdown passes. That is behind Jared Goff, Roman Gabriel, and Jim Everett. He is behind them all by just one. He'll tie them with one more. He has also reached fifth most game-winning drives, officially passing Dan Marino, who he was tied with. Kyron Williams, K-Dub, he needs one scrimmage touchdown this week to reach first in Rams history in scrimmage touchdowns in your first 25 games, passing Eric Dickerson. Braden Fisk needs 1.5 sacks this week, specifically, to pass Aaron Donald for most by a Rams rookie in his first 13 games. Cooper Kupp, he reached the most receptions by an NFL player in their first 100 games. That's awesome. Love to see that. Cooper Kupp. And we're into record watch. Wait, should we do the thing? Where's the thing? Is it this one? Record watch. Cool, huh? Christian Roseboom. He reached 100 plus tackles in a season for the first time in his career. That is not the record. Currently has 103 is on pace for 146. 146. That's your record. Set last year by Ernest Jones, the Seattle Seahawk Ernest Jones. But now, Christian Roseboom, he can break that record by 145 is the record set by Jones just last year. And with 11 tackles on Sunday, Christian Roseboom would be the first player in Rams history to score or to record 4 straight games with 11 or more tackles. Yes. Record watch for my boy Christian Roseboom. Keep your eyeballs on him. Dude's playing incredible football right now at the linebacker spot. Love to see it. Bills at Rams this Sunday, SoFi Stadium. If you're going to be there, hit me up, dude. Let's give high fives and drink beers in close proximity with each other. It's going to be rather exciting stuff. Also, the Recyclaw. Find me there. That's going to be awesome. All right. That is your game preview. Bills at the Rams, Week 14, 2024 NFL season. Fan Quesos. That is next on Ram Showcase. Welcome back, Ram Showcase. I am Sheriff Joe Bags. Time to get into our Fan Quesos. I started posting them a day early, and I'm now running into a new problem where I get too many. So we might get into a situation where I have to like kind of dwindle or like cut some or something like that. I don't really want to do that. I also don't want to talk for 5 hours a night. So we'll not do that this time. I want to plow through all of these, but just know that if that might happen. Also, last year I was limited to an hour. I was syndicated, so I had to keep it to only an hour because the station that was playing Ram Showcase, if it hit an hour, just everything after that was cut off, and it was really awkward. So I would try to hit an hour. I was always like 103 for some reason. I could not get the hour, but now we're almost an hour in already, and we're starting Fan Quesos, so let's dive in. First one here on the Facebook page coming from John. Got one question. If we were to lose to Buffalo, how dare you, John? Okay. Says, hope we win. And win out the rest of the games. Will we get a decent playoff spot? Honestly, if the Rams win out, probably get a 3 seed. Probably be in the 3 seed. So that would be behind the winner of the NFC East as well as the NFC North. Those are going to have a team ahead of whoever's going to win the West or the South. So probably, if I had to say right now, if the Rams win out, or say if we were to lose to Buffalo and then win the rest of our games, yeah, we could absolutely still get the 3 seed. Yeah, we could still get the 3 seed if the Rams lose this game. I'm just trying to do some like math and stuff in my head. I don't know. I don't get into the percentages because I don't care about that. It's like fantasy football. I just don't care about fantasy football at all. In fact, and this is not to talk trash on anybody who plays fantasy football. Definitely not, because I also still play it. I'm just in the one league. I've been in since high school. So I continue it because it's the same dudes and all that stuff, and it's fun. But I think ultimately all the people that I know who are like really hardcore football fans who like actually just love the game and like they like breaking stuff down, those people tend to not like fantasy football. It feels like, and again, this is not a target on anybody or to talk trash on anybody. It does feel like that fantasy football is a little bit more for your normal fans, your fans who, if they can't catch the game on Sunday, it's not a big deal. You know what I mean? Like I'm not one of those. If the Rams play for about 52 hours a year, okay, let me watch. Okay. figure out your stuff, your schedule stuff. 52 hours a year. Let me have this one. All right. I realize that Rams Showcase makes it like 6 times more than that for Rams stuff for me. But either way. But yeah, to answer your question, John, if the Rams were to lose to Buffalo and then win out, Rams could still get the 3 seed in that situation. Because that would put the Rams, I mean, obviously we're 6-6 now, so put 10-7. Yeah, that's totally reasonable. Totally reasonable. Let's over this page now. Edwin, emphasis on the win with the next few here. Says, hopefully I'm not too late. You were definitely not too late. You put these in yesterday, so you had plenty of time. Number 1, how impressed are you with Roseboom? Maximum, dude. I'm loving this right now, man. I feel like I'm not necessarily even impressed. I'm just now like, yeah, this is what I thought. Like, this is what I thought could happen, man. Like, I think that now he's just playing to the potential that I had in my head for him this whole time. So I'm excited about it, man. I'm pumped for him mainly. Because especially you got to think too, you get your first chance at like truly being a starter for a team that you've played with for years. You've been working, you've been in meetings. The team has trusted you enough to keep you coming back. You finally get your chance to start. And in your first few games, you're not just already in your sick groove and the whole fan base is like, get this loser out of here. And so, I mean, from his perspective, you got to think like, that's got to be pretty miserable, right? Like you've worked so hard. This is your team, all the fans and stuff like that are like, while you're a backup, they're like, yeah, man. And then you finally get a start and you're like, who the hell is this? Get out of here, dude. Fire this guy. And then for him to kind of turn it around, and now everybody's like, oh, Roseboom. What up, Roseboom? Broseboom. Then I'm fired up for it, man. So I'm stoked for him, man. This is cool. This is fun stuff for him. Says, I've always liked him and knew the reason he wasn't playing to his potential was because we kept asking him to do things he wasn't meant to do. And I'm not even sure if that's really the case. I think that I want to say that he just wasn't playing as fast and loose earlier in the year. And maybe that has something to do with the change in the defensive scheme a little bit with Raheem Morris going to Chris Shula. That's absolutely possible. Number 2 from Edwin, emphasis on the win. I believe we are going to beat the Bills this Sunday. Like that spirit, dude. And when we do, what do you think will be the main reason why we beat them? I think it'll be because the Rams are able to run the ball and, to be real, get a couple lucky turnovers, man. Get a fumble here or there that the Rams are able to fall on. Get the offense in good field position. Put them in a spot to at least get 3, even if they go nowhere. And we'll be in a good spot after that. But running the football, that's going to be huge in this one. Number 3, if you were the GM of the LA Rams next year, would you give Stafford an extension? If yes, for how long and for how much? That's a great question, actually, Edwin. If I were the Rams GM, I would absolutely give Stafford an extension. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. I would start preparing for life after Stafford. I would not get another veteran backup like we've been doing. Carson Wentz, Jimmy Garoppolo. I wouldn't do anything like that. But I also wouldn't do the Wolford and Perkins bench either. I would dive into the draft and I would try to look for somebody 3rd, 4th round. And the best part about that is you get to look at them throughout a whole training camp and an off-season program and then a whole season of practice and stuff like that and see if that's your guy. It's okay if it's not. I think it's totally reasonable to, first of all, draft a running back every year. I feel like everybody should do that. Just get a running back every year. You never know. You never know who's going to be the sickest running back in the league. It could be the guy you picked up in the 6th. You know what I mean? Running back every year. I don't hate the idea of quarterback every 2 or 3. And it's been a while since the Rams snagged one. I wouldn't be surprised to see it happen this year, but that's what I would do if I was a Rams GM. And to answer your question also, for how long? 5 years, because he's not going to outplay that. And then as far as what am I giving him a year? I mean, I feel comfortable giving Stafford 35, 40 a year. I mean, that doesn't bother me. I don't write checks though. So also what the hell? I couldn't afford that. I cannot sign Stafford to a $35 million a year contract. I've never had $35 million accumulatively in my whole life. So there's that part. But I could totally sign up Stan to do it. That'd be awesome. That'd be super cool. In fact, that's what Les does. Well, that's kind of fun. You got to spend other people's money, which is what I do at work. Totally different ball game, though. That's for sure. Let's see here. Next one up from Edwin. If you had to get a Christmas present for a current Rams player, which player would you get a gift for, and what would you give them? Oof. I'll be honest, man. I only get one person something for Christmas, and that is my niece. She's my favorite human being on the planet Earth, and she deserves everything. If I were to pick a Rams player, though, to get a gift to, I would give Kobe Turner that guitar. Just because I'd want to see him play it. That'd be cool. My Jackson Kelly. Love that thing. That's my second Kelly. First one was better, in fairness. Not to talk trash about this Jackson, but, the other one was really sick. And I sold it like an idiot. So, there's that part. Next few here, coming from Jason on the Facebook page. Since we appear to be at full strength on offense now, minus Higbee, why do you think our offense isn't living up to the hype and expectations that we had for it? I just talked about this a little bit, and I think that ultimately the Rams offense has been so beat up that we're just now getting it back together. We've only had our offense together for one game so far, and not even yet because Higbee's still out. We've had our offense together for one game. That was in New Orleans. This is game 2, all right, that we have our entire offense together. I understand that we're in week 14 and everybody feels like we should be firing on all cylinders right now. This is game 2 of having all of our guys back. We started the year without, Kupp. Puka was down for a long time. A.J. Jackson was suspended the first 2 games. Then Steve Avila got hurt. Then Jonah Jackson got hurt. Rob Havenstein missed 3 games. We've been beat up, dude. So I think that ultimately why we are not seeing this, your question here is, why do you think our offense isn't living up to the hype and expectations that we had for it? It's because it hasn't had a chance. That's really it, man. I really firmly believe that. It hasn't had a chance to fire off yet on all cylinders. Hopefully this is a week that it can start to that we can kind of see like, oh, okay, this is like, even with a loss, I want to see something this week of like, okay, we've got this though. We can 4 games left. Let's put it together. Let's win those and get out of here because those last 4 games, let's face it, they're winnable. They're winnable games. San Fran, New York Jets, Seattle Seahawks, Arizona Cardinals. Rams can absolutely win those 4 games. Absolutely. All right. No matter what happens in this game, I still believe that. All right. Pending injuries and stuff like that could potentially happen against Buffalo, I still feel good about those 4 games, no matter what happens this Sunday. So we'll see. And maybe there's a little bit in this week where they can kind of keep it rolling. Next up here from Jason, it doesn't feel like the offensive line, it feels like the offensive line is way underperforming, but why? We have some studs on that line, but Stafford still doesn't have enough time. I think it's the same thing. Just these guys are brand new back. Havenstein just came back last week after missing about a month. Then Avila, I think, is now back into his rhythm. We also still have a very young 6th-round rookie center, and he's going to still make mistakes. He's awesome, but he's still going to make some mistakes. So I think all of that needs to be considered. And then also we need to know that A.J. Jackson is dealing with a little bit of a foot issue this week in practice. Did not practice today. So hopefully he's okay. But I think that's it as well. Just lack of continuity. They haven't been together yet. This is only game 2 of our offensive line being together. Next up here is from Jason as well. From what you've seen so far this season, please rank position needs. I'm thinking LT, DB, DB, RT, LB, DB. I think we need a lot of DBs. I actually disagree. If I had to rank position needs, though, man, dude, you're in off season, man. I have not been thinking about this stuff at all. I'm not thinking about what we need to bring in. I'm thinking about how we win football games. We got 5 left, dude. Trying to make the playoffs. We're going to table this a little bit, man. I'll tell you that I do think that the Rams should address and bring in more offensive linemen. I don't think it would be a bad thing to bring in another speedy receiver, especially because I do feel like this is Tutu's last year with us. So I would say another speedy receiver to keep that McVay offense kind of in pace here. I would like to see a tight end brought in. Your DB comment, man. You said 3 DBs on here. I like our DBs a lot. I just think they're very young and inexperienced. D Will, obviously, he's been up and down, but I mean, he's a great corner. Akello, I really like. Durant, I really like. So I don't know, man. I think I disagree a little bit on that. And maybe it's because I'm looking at right now. I'm looking at today and how the Rams can win these football games, and I'm only really paying attention to who we have, not who we could have. So I don't mean to blow off your question or to say like I don't care right now or anything like that, but in a way I don't. I mean that's not a lie. Because I mean we could spend the whole offseason talking about who should we get, who should we bring in. We brought in this guy, how does he help us and stuff like that. That going into a Week 14 game when the Rams are still very much in the playoff hunt, I just don't feel like it's the time to talk about where we need to improve this offseason. So not to blow off your question or anything like that, man. But yeah, we're going to blow it off a little bit. Next up from Jason, though, and way too early question. Okay, another one, man. Says, what do you think the Rams will do next year for a backup quarterback? Any thoughts or insight on how Stetson Bennett is developing? To answer your first question, no. We have Jimmy Garoppolo on the bench right now. I'm not thinking of who's going to be the backup quarterback next year. Don't think that's really a heavy topic going into Week 14 against the Buffalo Bills. Don't think it's a topic I want to spend a lot of time on. I don't care right now. Who knows? And any thoughts on insight on how Stetson is developing? None, unfortunately. We're not going to hear. He's probably not even getting practice reps right now, man. Like those reps need to go to the people who are going to be on the football field. And obviously he is throwing footballs. I'm not saying he's just like sitting on the sideline like whenever you guys need me, but ultimately he's not doing like the stuff, you know what I mean? So no real insight. We'll have a better understanding of that when we do get into like training camp next year, stuff like that. And I do expect him to be around. Let's see. We're just going to go down the line here on YouTube. We've got a mix of Payo Time, Rams House, and Paul hopping in as well. Payo Time situation. You are asked to host a Rams-centric game show called Ramley Feud. Fair enough. Which is a parody of Family Feud. Naturally. You have to pick, select 4, you have to select 4 players from each. Okay. I think there was just a comma that my brain wanted to put in there. Pick 4 teams. 1 is current offensive players. Team 2 is current defensive players. Team 3, coaches, coordinators from any era. And 4, Rams legends. I don't want to not give your question time here, but I do want to plow through this. We're already running real late, and this is a long one. So team 1, current offensive players. Obviously, you got to go Matthew Stafford, the big brain on Stafford, dude. Yes. Cooper Kupp, naturally. Puka Nacua, he's entertainment value at the very minimum. He's not an idiot. Entertainment value to the max. Kevin Dotson, same reason. Super cool. He's awesome. He's funny. It's going to be perfect. And to go last one on offense, I want to go big brain. I got a few names in my head, man. I'm trying to think if anybody went to like an Ivy League school. I was going to put Davis Allen just to throw you off. Bet you didn't think I was going to say Davis, did you? Next up, the current defensive players. Kobe has to be in there. I'm putting in Quentin Lake. Big brain, Q for sure. Give me Bobby Brown, Gigamags. Then give me Jared, because who's gonna want to take him on? Like when he's at the buzzer with his hand behind his back, you know what I mean? Like no one's gonna push that button. And then if Jared's there, Braden has to go, obviously. Next up, coaches and coordinators from any era. Not Jeff Fisher. Give me Sean McVay. Give me Coach Bones. Give me Coach Waffle, former defensive line coach. Give me, and that you said coaches and coordinators. Yeah, so give me Aubrey Pleasant. And give me Ryan Wendell. Yes, dude. Oh. Who did I say? I don't know who I've said so far. I want to also use Yarbs, though. I love Yarbs, dude. That guy is absolutely awesome. And then for Team 4 Rams Legends, give me Eric Dickerson. Give me Jackie Slater. Give me Let's go. I like Jim Everett. Give me Jim Everett here. Then we'll go Rams legends. Give me Aeneas Williams, top tier human being. Ooh, and then give me Isaac Bruce, top tier human being as well. Next up, let's see. What are your that's so funny. It says, P.S. It sounds fun and peak off-season content. You're absolutely right. That is such an off-season topic. That's so funny, man. Next up here from Payo Time. What are your pregame plans before the Buffalo Bills game at SoFi? Stoked for you to go. Thank you, dude. Appreciate that. I'm absolutely fired up. I'm already mostly packed and stuff, which is rather exciting. There's a little bug in here. But pregame plans, pink lot. I'll be out there early, probably at least by 10 a.m. I'll just be hanging out there. So that's the pregame plan. That always is the pregame plan. I do tend to go in a little early. I know the tailgates continue on, but I like to go in a little early. I like to see the stuff. I like to see the players go off the field after warm-ups. I like to kind of be there. I like to be in my seat. I like to get beers, and then just be hanging out, like to be where I'm at. And then I love the stadium intros and stuff like that. So yeah, that's the plan. Next up here from Rams House. This year has given us a lot of ups and downs. We've had some great games and great moments. What was your favorite game and favorite moment from this year? Ooh, good question, man. I almost want to think about this one a little bit. I'm going to read your answers here as I try to think. It says, my favorite game, Vikings primetime game, although SF and Seattle were pretty sweet. My favorite moments, D-Rob walk-off in OT at Seattle. That's kind of where I was leaning, is that the Demarcus Robinson touchdown in overtime. That was just, the ball left Stafford's hand, and it was like, oh, this is it. Like, the confidence that ball came off the hand with, it was like, yo, touchdowns, I almost want to go with the 2-2 deep ball against San Fran. That kind of like that play happened and it was like, oh, we're winning this. Like that was like kind of where it was at. So that's a very good question, actually. Yeah, we've had some fun stuff, man. Fun stuff this year for sure, but still some to go, man. Maybe our favorite moment has not yet happened. Hopefully that. Also, that Jalen McCullough pick 6 on Jordan Love. Seeing that in person, dude. I mean, it was on the opposite side from where we were sitting. But that was exciting as heck, man. That was absolutely awesome. Super, super cool. Next up from Rams House. I feel like we could get an interception this week. I would hope so. Like, one a week feels like you should do that, right? Especially if Josh is rolling out and heaving it up to one of his guys downfield. That said, who do you see getting a pick this week if that happens? I'm feeling D-Will or Kinchins. I think it's been a bit for McCullough, and I think that he's been a little quiet, and I think that this is a week that he gets one. He gets, or we'll say 5. Yeah, I like McCullough to get back into the action on picks, though. Next up from Rams House, what would it be like sharing a room with AJ Jackson? And what would it... have we had this one before? And what would it be if you messed up and called him a lyric on a bad day? Dude, I don't know. Okay, so first of all, what would it be like sharing a room with AJ Jackson? I feel like it would just be quiet a lot of the times. He doesn't feel very loud to me. You know what I mean? I feel like there'd be like a bench press in the room and he would just do that all day. But calling him Alaric, like I said, man. So I know that a lot of people call him Alaric or Alaric and stuff like that. But when I was at the game last year in the preseason in Denver, he was signing my flag, that one there. And I asked him, I was like, do you prefer AJ or Alaric? He looked me, he stopped signing and looked me in the eyes and goes, AJ. I said, got it. So he's AJ Jackson to me for all of eternity, okay? Based on the look that he gave me, those mean-ass AJ Jackson eyeballs looking at me and say, AJ. I was like, done. That's it. Forever. I don't think I would call him Alaric on a bad day. Especially on a bad day, dude. Next up, the Land Shark has been an under-the-radar guy for the Rams. You're kind of picking up on my vibes there. I like that. Feel like he's taken a big leap this year in his overall play. Agreed. Excluding Roseboom. Come on, man. Again, exclude. Who would you say has taken the biggest leap from last year to this year? Honorable mention, D-Rob. Yeah, man. Very good honorable mention there. And probably very much my answer, I kind of believe. if I can't go with Christian Roseboom, then D-Rob feels like the answer almost, So, you're right though. With the Land Shark, Kobe Durant has played very, very good football this year. He does seem to have taken a leap for sure. Trying to think of who else has looked better to me and just taken like an actual like a big step. And I think those are the three that I would really say actually. I'm really excited to see our rookies this year and who takes that leap next year. I'm starting to feel like a guy like Tyler Davis might be one to really watch for next year. Watching him get off the ball and get off a block and get into the backfield, I think he's under the radar guy for us. He is inconsistent, but he's got some skills where every once in a while he makes a play. You're like, Tyler Davis, that man has a family, man. So it's rather exciting stuff. Next up here from Rams House. So ahead of this Bills game, would you rather take a prime Jalen Ramsey and Janoris Jenkins? Yo, speaking my language, Jakes was my guy. Or a prime Todd Gurley and Troy Hill? Oh, that's tough. I don't dislike Troy Hill, but a prime Troy Hill was only pretty good. Jalen Ramsey and Jenks, dude. I mean, the Jenkins and Trumaine Johnson, Jenks and True, that combo was awesome. Loved it, man. 22-21 out there flying around. Jenks getting pick sixes like it's nobody's business. I got his jersey sitting in my closet. I was a big Jenks fan, man. That guy's awesome. I'm going with Jenks and Ramsey, man. Those guys top tier. You're getting a 0.1 passer rating against the Rams every single week, So, yeah, that's a good question, though. It's a fun one. Well, let's see. Next up, would you rather watch film with Kobe Turner and Bobby Brown? Sounds awesome. Or be the ball boy at a Cup Nakua Stafford throw-around session? Dude, that's impossible. Kobe Turner and Bobby Brown, watching film with them would be, I think, my pick, simply because of the action. Any chance to hang out with Cup Nakua and Stafford together, I'm always in. I don't even know if I would be able to speak in their presence. If they were actually talking ball and talking schemes and stuff like that, I'd probably just be in there yeah. Just getting all nerdy about it. But Kobe and Bobby, man, I feel like I could be in there. I could be yelling. I could be like, oh, you're right there. If you do that, and they would be like, yeah. You get it. I think I'm doing that because of the action. Next one here from Payo time. I have a confession to make. Payo, not like this. Let's see. Sean McVay becoming the franchise leader in wins as a head coach did not really hit me until Tuesday morning, as I was still excited about the win over the Saints. Could you just nerd out about how awesome McVay is as a head coach? Sure. That's kind of interesting, by the way, because it did I saw the news and stuff like that. It's yeah, he's the all-time leader, and it was wow, we really are seeing the best coach this team's ever had. That's rather exciting, man. So, I mean, I don't know how to get too much into this without just repeating things that I've said for years about Sean McVay. He's the best coach we've ever had. The culture shift from Jeff Fisher to Sean McVay is just unreal, man. That's about what I've got for you on that question, man. It's that Sean McVay coming in. I mean, who could have known, that this is where we would be, bringing in the youngest coach in the NFL. He's at second still, and he's been around for a while. So, yeah, man, rather exciting stuff. But Sean McVay, we're going to miss him when he's gone. And I realize that there's people out there that are like, he's washed, he's done this, people have figured him out, stuff like that. And I'm going to point to these days, literally right now, week 14, going into the 2024 season, when we're terrible, and it's yeah, but remember when you said we sucked because we were 6-6, going, we had Sean McVay, it's yeah, I'm gonna miss Sean McVay. That's gonna be the thing. So, I don't know, man. Appreciate it while we've got it. It's that quote from The Office where he says, I wish there was a way to know that you were in the good old days before they're gone. This is it. That's why I did the video, The Good Old Days. It's years old now, and I should probably update that. We're working on the next feature, though, and another podcast. I got to stop giving myself projects. But Sean McVay is one that I think when he's gone is when everybody will truly appreciate what he meant to this team and what he means to this team. And next up from Paul, last one. How many points will the Rams beat the Bills by this Sunday? I don't know, probably 1,000 some. Like, I don't know. I'm saying 6-point win. I'm saying 6 points. I'll go 33-30, or yeah, you know what? I'm going 33-27, dude. LA Rams, big dub. And then I'll be 1-1 this year. Because I had to watch the Rams lose to the Packers. But also on the flip side of that, I realized that like I would obviously love the Rams to win that game. But I've been now to 2 Rams Packers games with my buddy Jackson, who's a big Packers fan. And I like to take the approach, because I can't change what happened. I like to take the mindset of like, I got to be with my bro when his team won twice. And I'll take that as like the win, as like, okay, that's fun. Fun for him. Cool. Sucks for me. Whatever. Awesome for him though. And I got to be there for that. So that's really cool stuff. But probably 1,000. All right. Thanks for your fan quesos, and keep on firing them off, guys. Like I said, we might have to start cutting some if we're going to be creeping on 1.5-hour episodes every week. That's becoming a trend. It's who I am, man. I don't know. I'm a talker. And I don't do radio anymore, so I feel like I need this. I just gotta let it all out, unleash my brain onto the world. But I appreciate the fan quesos. Definitely keep them coming, man. And you got good ones. Those ones are going to be the ones that rise to the top. That's kind of my point with that. So keep on bringing the heat. And, of course, Rams-Bills this Sunday. I'll be out there, flying out on Saturday. If there's anything going down Saturday night, hit me up. I am coming back on Monday, though. Quick trip, only for the game. I love LA. I love being out there, but the trip is for the game. So it's Rams game, and then come home because I got bills to pay and Christmas coming up. So can't miss too many work days. It be like that sometimes. But that is gonna do it for me. My video just stopped, so that's just gonna be the way it is. There's just no video now. But that is gonna do it for me. I am Sheriff Joe Bags. Oh wait, I forgot to tell you to follow on socials at Ram Showcase, at Sheriff Joe Bags, ramshowcase.com. That is going to do it for me. I am Sheriff Joe Bags. This has been Ram Showcase on Sports War Radio and the Fan-Sided Network. For those of you who aren't Rams fans, our thoughts and prayers are with you. For those of you who are Rams fans, thank you so much for watching, and go Rams.